authors. All right, we are going to be working on invasive species. So in our 10.02, we have this writing prompt. The articles invasive species and ants discussed various animal behaviors. Write an essay to explain how animals can impact the environment. Use information from both articles along with information from the source you've researched. We haven't done this part yet, so I'm just going to cross this out. We're just using information from both articles here to help us explain how animals can impact the environment. So as I'm reading this, I am going to look for a positive way they impact it and then a negative way to write about. And those are going to be my two body paragraphs. So I'm going to write one body paragraph about how they positively affect the environment and then one body paragraph on how they negatively impact the environment. Okay, so let's first read Ants by Fraser Abbott. An organized colony. Ants are social insects, which means that they work and live in large groups or colonies. Depending on the type of ant, a formicary can consist of anywhere between a few hundred ants and millions of ants. Whether they live underground or above the ground in mounds, wood structures, or on plants and trees, these colonies are very organized and complex. There are different ranks of ants within the colonies, each with a specific purpose and task. Every formicary consists of a queen ant, who is the largest ant, drones, and worker ants. Ants working together. Please see the interactive articles in the course to view a video that shows ants working together to pull down a leaf. And this is in our 10.02 lesson. Long live the queen. Queen ants and drones have wings, which they use during mating season and lose shortly after mating. The drones die soon after mating. The queen, however, needs to find a new home and lay her first brood of eggs. She cares for these eggs by herself from her own reserves. This initial batch of eggs will produce the first workers that will care for her and the next generations of eggs. For the remainder of her life, the queen will lay thousands of eggs over several years without mating again. The queen is the most important individual in the colony. She is the mother of all colony members. Because the queen ant is the center of care and protection, without her, there would be no more ants. Hard workers. The worker and soldier ants are all female, and they are very strong. Just like their name implies, they do all the work. Based on their type, they can carry objects 20 to 50 times their own body weight. They are also amazing engineers and architects. The workers engage in an endless flurry of activity as they build, maintain, and repair the colony's walls, tunnels, and chambers. Intricately woven tunnels and chambers provide shelter for the queen and her eggs. Other rooms are used for food storage, waste deposit, and even barns for their aphids. Depending on the species, worker ants can build living bridges and even rafts. These hard workers continually forage for food to feed the queen, the larva, and the colony. They fearlessly defend and protect their nest. Little farmers. Different types of ants have interdependent relationships with plants and other insects. Some ants grow their own food. Others protect plants from harmful bugs, and still others shepherd their own bug flocks. The leafcutter ant forages for leaves and brings them back to the nest. The smaller ants will clean and cut the leaves into mulch and plant it into a bit of fungus. The fungus flourishes under the ant's care and provides the community with food. They cultivate and nurture fungus much like we grow and harvest plants for food. Other ants keep aphids the way we keep cows. Aphids secrete a sugary substance called honeydew, which ants enjoy eating. These little ranchers will herd their bug flocks to better feeding grounds and protect them against rain and predators. They tend to the aphid eggs like their own and keep them safe inside their colonies. The ants will also eat the aphids for protein. Ants have also been known to protect certain caterpillars that produce honeydew. This symbiotic relationship between caterpillars and ants helps to increase butterfly populations. The same way ants defend and protect aphids and caterpillars, they protect cherry trees. They attacked and ward off herbaceous insects that devour new leaves on cherry trees. The cherry tree rewards the ants with sweet nectar. So I see that's one way how they help the environment. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that they protect the cherry trees and they ward off herbaceous insects. Those are insects that want to eat the leaves. Ecosystem engineers. These tiny laborers till as much earth as earthworms and aerate the soil. Oh, I can see some coming up that there's some good stuff that the ants are doing here. Ants have been estimated to move 50 tons of soil in a square mile. The food gathering plays a role in seed and nutrient distribution. Some of the leaves and insects they collect in their foraging decay and enrich the soil and fertilize surrounding plants. The seeds they collect have a fatty substance on the outer shell that the ants enjoy. They discard the remaining seed, which then grows into its new location. Most ants are predators and are constantly hunting for garden pests. It has been estimated that ants kill 40% of newly hatched plant-eating bugs and about 30% of flies. Ooh, nice. That makes them more effective than some pesticides. Ants can also prey. Ants are also prey-provided food for birds, mammals, spiders, reptiles, fish, and other insects. Ants contribute greatly to a balanced ecosystem. Okay, so I have some positives there. Now we're going to read another article called Invasive Species. And y'all remember, you can pause this at any time if you need to go back and look more detailed at the article. Okay, this is written by Nigel Woodley. So remember we talked about kudzu being an invasive species and it's from somewhere else. This is what we're going to be reading about here. Both plants and animals can be an invasive species. An invasive plant or animal has come from a different place in the world. In other words, it is non-native. Its introduction into a new habitat causes harm to the ecosystem. Invasive plant species compete with native species for moisture, sunlight, and nutrients. Invasive plants prevent many native plants from growing because they have aggressive root systems, dense canopies, and produce large quantities of seeds. No herbivores, diseases, or parasites keep them in check. Animals and insects that are non-native do not have natural predators to keep their population in balance. They compete with native species for its food and cause enormous harm to their new ecosystem. These invaders can cause the extinction of native wildlife, reduce biodiversity, and alter habitats. Burmese pythons. Originally from South Asia, these snakes are terrorizing the Florida Everglades. They are non-venomous constrictors. They can grow up to 17 feet long and are able to take down an adult alligator. Since they have no known predators, they are at the top of the food chain and are rapidly increasing in numbers. A typical female will lay a clutch of 20 to 50 eggs every other year for up to 20 years. They are stealthy and voracious hunters. They are difficult to find and even more difficult to control. While they are flourishing, the native wildlife is declining by as much as 99%. Nutria Swamp Rat. This animal not only looks like a rat, but breeds like a rat. The female nutria gives birth to litters of up to 14 kits. She is ready to reproduce again in 2 days. They were brought into the state of Louisiana from South America for their fur. After their release into an ecosystem with no natural predators, their numbers grew at startling rates. Their continuous digging on riverbanks rips up plant roots, which in turn causes soil erosion. They are destroying natural habitats of muskrats, crabs, and even juvenile fish. Okay, so I see that I can write a little bit about this one. So this was a species that was brought into the state for their fur. And it causes, they dig on the river banks, which cause soil erosion. And they destroy the natural habitat of different animals here. You can pick whichever animals you want to write about, whichever invasive species. There's a lot of them. Feral hogs. They have menacing tusks and mean tempers. They are not afraid to charge humans. Hunters who wanted to hunt wild boars imported them from Russia. I might write about them too. Mean tempers, and they charge humans. Okay, so they were imported from Russia by hunters. They are established in 47 states with massive populations in Texas, Florida, Georgia, and North Carolina. Feral pigs are the cause of about $1.5 billion in damage each year and are a nightmare for the ecosystem. They dig up fields, create wallows in pastures, and destroy fences. They carry infectious diseases which can spread to other animals, and they consume large amounts of native vegetation. Cuban tree frogs. They are the largest tree frog in North America. These invaders are native to Cuba, the Cayman Islands, and the Bahamas. They are now well established in the peninsula of Florida. Voracious eaters, they are responsible for the decline of native frogs, toads, and even lizards. They are so successful at taking over habitat that they threaten the biodiversity of native ecosystems in Florida. Brazilian pepper tree. It is frequently used for Christmas decorations because of its bright green foliage and red berries. Native to Argentina, Paraguay, and Brazil, it was introduced into Florida as an ornamental tree and now infests 700,000 acres in Florida. This tree shrub is one of the most aggressive and widespread invasive pest plants in the state of Florida. The dense canopy of this shrub casts shade over all other plants. It is destroying the diversified ecosystem. With fewer native plants, wildlife has a very poor habitat. Giant Salvinia. This plant grows rapidly to cover the surface of lakes and streams. It forms floating mats. These thick mats shade and crowd out important native plants. They reduce the oxygen content in the water, making it a poor habitat for fish and other aquatic life. Native to South America, this invasive species is causing severe economic and environmental problems. Lionfish. Although they are beautiful to look at, lionfish are a serious problem. They are carnivores with a ravenous appetite. Lionfish are flourishing in the non-native waters of the Atlantic Ocean, Gulf of Mexico, and Caribbean Sea. They have no natural predators in these waters to slow their population. This invasive species can cause the extinction of native fish and reduce the biodiversity of reefs. Asian citrus Psyllium. This tiny invader carries a bacterium that is affecting Florida's orange crop. Half of all citrus trees in Florida are infected. The roots become deformed, the fruit drops before ripening, and the tree slowly dies. Florida has no natural predator for these little creatures. They are causing billions of dollars in damage and a widespread shortage of oranges and citrus fruit. Emerald ash borer. They arrive from their native habitats in Russia, China, and Japan without a natural predator. These insects are destroying ash trees. They bore into the host tree and lay eggs. Under the bark, these eggs become glutinous larvae. Millions of ash trees have been killed, and the number of these insects continues to increase. Our world is constantly changing, and native species are being displaced more and more. Some will become invasive conquerors and alter habitats. Some will live harmoniously with native species. Careful consideration must be given before introducing a non-native plant or animal into the environment. And I'm going to make another video with the graphic organizer directions, so make sure you click on that one next.